Hey, sweet friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. Now, a while back, a few weeks ago, I had shared these Santa and Friends video where I took some pockets off of old jeans and I painted on them. In that video, I shared how I painted the Santa and all of that stuff, and also shared just little tips and tricks of what I did for the gingerbread and the snowman. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how I paint the gingerbread pocket as well as the snowman pocket and put all of the cute little country embellishments on. Guys, my name is Tracy. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I love to share crafty ideas with a bit of rustic country charm, just like today's projects. Let me go ahead and share how I create these cute, whimsical pockets that can be used for a small gift, a tree ornament, door hanger. It can be on a doorknob or something like that. Just a cute gift that you can give this Christmas season. Okay, guys, I have some old jeans. These are not mendable. These are not something that I can reuse because you can't see the front. These are jeans that have been worn out and they're not good enough to be able to have someone else wear them. The reason I say this is because I got some very mean comments when I posted it on Facebook. And so this is the reason, out of the goodness of my heart, I was just kind of showing how I cut off the pockets of old jeans that were going to be discarded anyway. So this is what I do. I cut the pocket off with my fabric scissors, and I have a pocket just like this to go ahead and paint on. All right, so for the snowman, I'm using this color of chalk paint. It's Plaster by Waverly, and that is a Walmart brand. And so then I'm just freehanding, just kind of drawing out a circle. Now, someone could get, like a jar or a cup or something like that to, draw out a circle with a pen or something like that to give you the snowman circle shape. So then I will also use that same plaster chalk paint and go around the edges just to give it a border. To make the eyes for the snowman, I'm just starting out with my black Sharpie marker and I just draw them out. I draw two ovals at the top. I like the eyes where they're more touching at the top, but there are different ways to make eyes. So then I use my round brush and some black paint just to fill them in and get the look that I want. Then to make my cheeks, what I do is I use some coral color paint, and that paint is by Ceramcoat. And then I use my stencil brush. I like to choose the one that's a little bit more wispy, and that just kind of gives me the, it's not solid. That's the kind of the look that I'm going for. And so then I start out a little light, and then I go as heavy as I want it to. Then I will take my liner brush and just make some eyelashes as well as some eyebrows. Now, I get questions a lot about a little liner brush like this to make little wispies like this. And what I would recommend, this brush has been with me for a long time. It is old. It has lost a lot of the bristles. And so that's what I would recommend, finding a liner brush and maybe remove some of the bristles so that you just get a few strands in the actual liner brush. So that if you want to make little whimsical features like this for your characters, then that kind of is what I would recommend. Okay, then now I'm taking a flat paintbrush and just going around the outside of the pocket just to give it a black stripe. And then I'll add some shading and all that stuff just to, give it some of the country touches that I like. Okay, I'm using this color of orange. It is Canyon Orange and a round paintbrush, and that is what I'm going to use to start my snowman nose. So I like to start on the largest part and just kind of go down and just kind of keep going and just getting smaller and smaller as I go along, just to give the snowman his carrot nose. I have also used puffy paint in the past that you can get in the craft store, but for this particular snowman, I'm just using my brush and some Canyon Orange paint. Then I'm using my little detail liner brush just to add some excess on the snowman, just to give him this whimsical look. You could also, I have done little smiles, just with little funny, mischievous grins. It's so fun just to create different character faces with just paint and a brush. Now I'm going to add some highlighting to the snowman nose, and I'm just using a flat paintbrush and some black paint just to go around the carrot nose, just to give it some definition. Then to do some shading around the white of the snowman, I'm just using my milk chocolate paint by Americana and my flat paintbrush and just going around and giving it some shading. And as you can see on that left side of his face, I got a little heavy, so I'm going to show you next how I fix that. So what I do is I got a little heavy on there. I could either take a baby wipe and try to get some of that off, but I chose to just get that plaster chalk paint and just go, add a little bit of paint to that so that it wasn't so heavy in that area. So then I continue to go around the pocket and add some brown shading because I love all these little country touches. All right, so then also for more whimsical touches, I just take another liner brush and just add a white stripe to the black of each of, around the stripes, because I just really feel that just the beauty is in the details, guys. I say that all of the time, that beauty is in the details. And so then it was at this point that I remembered, oh yeah, you forgot to shade around the where the blue jean and the white border meet. So that's what I'm doing now. And then I'll just continue with my little detailing brush just to add some more features, just to bring out the nose, as well as do some doodling around the snowman face and around the pocket, just to add a little bit more dimension. As I say all of the time, friends, the beauty is in the details. And so, I like to use an ultra fine Sharpie marker as well as a fine Sharpie marker, which I'm using my ultra fine Sharpie marker right now. I know it doesn't show up too good on camera, but that's what I'm using. Let's work on the cute little Gingy. I'm using this milk chocolate brown paint. It is Americana color. And so I just guesstimate and just kind of hand draw a circle around. Now, as I mentioned in the snowman video, that you can use a jar or a cup or something to give you a bowl or something in your craft room that can give you a circle. So I gave this 2 coats of the brown paint. So then I also use the plaster color paint just to go around the edges, just to give it a border. And I'm really liking that addition to the pockets, just to kick them up a notch. Okay, so then now that those are dry, I'm going to draw out the eyes, and I do the same thing with a black Sharpie marker. Just make some ovals at the top and just go ahead and start painting those. Now I kept the next part in because I wanted to show y'all how I fix when I make an error, because yes, I do make errors. Now I try my best to be consistent with the eyelashes, but on the right eye, I got a little too thick, and so I was not happy with it. I guess, just the way that the paint dried on the pocket, I'm like, that eyelash is that ain't working for me. So I took a baby wipe and just kind of wiped off a little bit of the black, but I'm like, oh, that still is not working too good. So then I go back and do the eyelash again, and I'm like, I still don't like that either. And then later I go back and I paint all of that, because I'm like, girl, you got to put some icing around the top of the Gingy. So yeah, those eyebrows were way too high. So that brown is going to dry, and I'm going to work on the cheeks next. And so I'm using my stencil brush and some barn red paint. And the same way I like to do is just take my brush and just give some rectangle cheeks. Now that barn red is a ceramic coat color. And so the reason that I always say that is because I get questions a lot, or private messages. for people that they want to know. Friends that want to know the exact paint colors. Okay, so then I'm using that same barn red color that I used for the cheeks and a flat paintbrush and going around and making some stripes along the edge of the pocket. So then now we're going to try for the third time to get my eyelashes for her right eye correct. So I just go ahead and make some eyelashes and then kind of bring some eyebrows down a little bit more so that I have room at the top to add my icing. So then I take my little detailing brush and add the white of the eyes as well as the whimsical features for her cheeks. I like that look like that. Now for her nose, I'm using this True Red color. It's by Americana, and I just take a round brush and just do 2 slashes just to make the heart for her nose. Buttermilk paint to add some icing around her face. Now first I pulled out a liner brush, and the individual brush was separating on me. So I'm like, that ain't gonna work. So I pulled out a round brush and started just kind of giving the swirlies around her face just to give her some icing. Now I like the curliness of it because I just kind of take my time and just go back and just kind of fill it in as I need to. Then I'll just take my detailing brush and draw out a little mouth, just giving her a sweet little smile. And I make it a little thick on one side so that I can put a white swoosh in there just to give it some extra detailing. And so then I add just a white stripe on one side of the red stripes just to give out, more dimension. I don't know. Like I say, the beauty is in the details. And so I just like to share for inspiration. I love to see your ideas and what you do with it. As long as I inspire you, you do your own thing and everyone will be happy. Okay, so then now also what I'm going to do is add some little highlights to her nose, and then here that's where I show you I add just a sweet little swoosh in her little mouth. Her little smile just looks so cute. Then of course I take my fine Sharpie marker and then just also add some doodling around the edge of the pockets as well as around the face, because as I say, the beauty is in the details, and I love my doodles and my squiggles, and so it just really kind of makes my little hand painted projects pop. So then now I'm going to add some splattering. I do black first, and then I go back and add white to it. And so for whatever reason, I did not get the black on there, but I did. I added black first, and then I go back and add white. Okay, so then now to kick it up a notch, I'm using some white puffy paint, and this is just something that you can get in the craft store anywhere the fabric paint is sold. You can also get it on Amazon, but it's pretty easy to find, and so I'm just going around and just giving some squiggles around it. Now I let that dry overnight because puffy paint does take a little bit to dry. I pulled out some of my homespun fabric to create a hanger for my pockets, and I can find homespun fabric at Hobby Lobby. Usually Walmart and JubileeFabric.com has lots of fun designs. All right, so then I just cut off, about an inch or a little less than an inch strip, and then I just tie it off and just attach it to each of the ends of the pockets just to make a little hanger. The embellishments are the fun part. I have some of these rusty snowflakes that I picked up from Hobby Lobby in the My Little Christmas miniature ornament section. And what I'm doing is just tying one of them a little bit, so one hangs a little bit longer than the other. Then I'm taking some pine, just greenery, and just going to just kind of attach all of that together like that. I took another piece of that homespun fabric just to make like a small bow, and I'm just kind of maneuvering it so that it kind of lays nicely, and just kind of position everything together, and that just looks so cute. And I just use my pinking shears to just trim that off, because sometimes the ripping it that way, it ends up being a little bit more frustrating. Okay, for the gingerbread, I'm using these 18 millimeter rusty jingle bells, and I got these from Factory Direct, and I got those a few years ago. I also have a rusty heart, like a primitive country heart that I've had on hand. I'm not quite sure where I got that from, but what I did is I just took my little mini hole punch that I got from Hobby Lobby in the jewelry section, and I just, I'm able to punch a hole in that small metal like that. So then I'm just kind of threading on my jingle bells, and then I'm going to tie that into, a little bow. And that string, what I'm using is hemp cording that I get in the jewelry section over at Walmart, or any craft store should have it in the jewelry section. But it just makes my little primitive country projects look really cute and rustic. These just make such cute little gifts. You could just change out, the characters to match your style and design. Now, I am a gift card fan, and so this is perfect for a little gift card or a small little gift, a little trinket, that kind of thing. And then they can use it for years to come as an ornament or a doorknob hanger, or just to hang on a hook or something like that. If you would like to see how I did or how I created the rustic Santa, I will leave that video here, and you can watch that as well. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your continued support. God bless you. We will see you in the next video.